Good afternoon, Nerd Fam, and welcome back to beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. We're here midway through day 2 of Dell Tech World. My name's Savannah Peterson. Delighted to be bringing you the stories from all the execs and smart folks here with Dave Vellante. Dave, this is another fun partnership conversation we get to have right now.
The industry changed when these guys got together.
And there's not a lot of partnerships you could say that particular sentence, that particular sentence about.
Fact,
here to discuss a partnership as old as I am, just about here, we've got Kenny and Jeff. Thank you both so much for taking the time. Really appreciate y'all.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
So 35 years running, Dell and Microsoft, so cool. Talk to me a little bit about the partnership. Jeff, I'll start with you.
You know, it like you say, it's a 35-year partnership, and the thing that excites me is it spans and encompasses so much.
Totally.
Whether it's work, modern work, whether it's I need to deliver distributed hybrid cloud solutions, whether it's data and AI, these are just some of the areas we are working on together, but the things that are most important and top of mind for our mutual customers. And that 35 years of partnership means we get to work together and collaborate on new and cutting edge innovation together.
It's got to be a really exciting time to be co-innovating. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, Dell and Microsoft, when we get together, great things happen. It's always been the case over 35 years, like you said, innovating together. We have a tremendous amount of engineering investment together. So this isn't what I would term a paper partnership. This is a very real technical partnership with deep innovation in engineering. And Jeff, did you know that Dell has over 47,000 Microsoft certifications across our staff? 47,000.
47,000,
yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah, that's where the rubber meets the road.
Yeah.
That's really awesome because that shows you it's not just hardware, it's not just software, but it's the certifications that bring it all together.
Yeah, that is, well, and that's how you enable people to optimize their use and experience with your hardware, your software, and whatever you're doing. So, just sitting there for a second, because I'm so curious. So when we were, here I am using Copilot on my Dell AI PC. First thing I did with it was design my nails, by the way, in case we were wondering.
Very nice, very
custom
nice.
Nails. Thank you all for making hardware that can play into my vanity and creativity at the same time. But I'm curious. What this has got, like we were saying, this is going to be one of the coolest times to be co-innovating. So, at what point were you all together and said, hey, we've got to completely change the way that people interact with AI and bring it to them on device the way that we get to experience here? Go for it, Kenny.
Yeah, I think there are two ways that we're approaching AI just now. So we really want to bring AI to the data. That's the way that we look at this. But the data is going to live in different places. So data may live in the Azure cloud, it may live on premises there. So right now we are bringing, for example, Dell PowerScale to the Azure cloud. So people can have their unstructured data running in Azure and use Azure AI services on top of that. We can have that consistently running on premises as well, so you have your PowerScale running on-prem with the consistent 1FS namespace, same Azure AI services running across both. So that's kind of how we're bringing a bit of the on-prem to the cloud there, but we're also bringing just enough Azure on premises as well with our Dell AX system for Azure Local here. So bringing a bit of Azure to on-prem to run where you need it to, again, bring Azure services where you want to run them. And actually at Microsoft Build this week, Microsoft just announced the bringing of Azure AI Foundry on Azure Local as well to run in customer data center as well. So brand new hot off the press announcement there.
Congratulations,
yeah.
That's exciting.
Kenny, you nailed it. I couldn't say it much better than myself, so let me add just a couple things. Yeah, when it comes to the AI journey, as one of my coworkers, Bob Ward over in the SQL team likes to say, data is really the fuel for AI. Okay, and you've seen that. You saw it in Michael Dell's keynote, you've seen it throughout the week here at Dell Technologies World, and we firmly believe that. And as organizations look, they have, many times years, if not decades worth of data from interactions, customers, all sorts of things, and they want to be able to look at that data and realize, is there a way I can mine it so I can deliver better services? How do I improve my offerings for my customers, whether they're internal customers or whether you're servicing external customers out there? So really having that AI and data focus is something that both Dell and Microsoft have in common.
So when you put PowerScale into the Azure cloud, you're sort of almost guaranteeing an exact identical experience, whether it's on-prem or in the cloud. So the developer, the user, they don't care, they don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And that's what you've achieved there. My question is, I remember when Google first started doing search, it was like, yeah, they're just using commodity components, everything's the same, disk drive breaks, they throw it out. And over the years, we've seen custom hardware, you guys are, and all the cloud players are developing their own silicon, And so, it's how do you ensure that you have that cost efficiency and that same facile experience? Because I would imagine, you remember the old days of hosting, you'd walk into a data center that was one of everything, and it was hard to manage. So, have you guys like written an abstraction layer to sort of deal with all that and to hide that from customers? How do you deal with that?
Let's get to the core of what you just said. The big challenge is management. Customers have come to us over the years. I've been at Microsoft over 22 years, and I've seen for decades now, the consistent complaint from customers is like, I've got stuff everywhere. And it's not just one data center. I've got multiple data centers, lots of branch offices, lots of edge locations. I have no visibility or insight into any of those. And now, by the way, I'm adopting cloud, I'm doing Azure Virtual Desktops, I'm doing Azure SQL, I want some Dell storage in the cloud, help me. And this is where that Dell and Microsoft partnership comes together. It's a consistency around management. So for example, with the Dell AX solutions for Azure Local, these are systems that you're deploying on premises, but you're managing it from the cloud. And so we have customers that are now deploying not just one, not two, but dozens, if not hundreds of solutions that they can manage all in one place, and they can see them wherever they reside around the planet. And so it really helps solve that big challenge, which is I want to do more, but how do I do it in a way that allows me to manage them in a consistent way? And consistency is the right word there, and it's not just consistency of management that we get from this as well, it's actually consistency of licensing and support and services, and unifying how you run everything from disk to cloud, and everything in between as well, which is great for the people that actually have to run it and manage it. I was just going to say, as you're describing this, I'm feeling the relief of the community and developers and folks who are optimizing this, and this is unique, right? Very unique. So that's an exciting part of this whole shebang. So let's talk a little bit about how your partnership and these certifications that you have, 47,000, which is wild. How does that help accelerate the success of your community when you deploy these new products? I mean, it's an investment into the Microsoft knowledge base there, and into understanding the Microsoft ecosystem, so our support staff, our engineers, our deployment people, everyone is deeply expert in the products that we are supporting, deploying, and managing for our customers there. Again, not a paper partnership, a very real technical one, where we really understand and help co-develop some of the solutions that we're delivering here as well. And when you get a Dell AX system for Azure Local, you're getting an architected system that, again, you've got professionals for deployment, for service, for support, but it's been architected to last. Okay, customers want to know, hey, I want something that's going to last me for a durable, long period time frame, and again, give me that consistency of management so that I can do both on-prem as well as cloud together. So let's talk about the reality here is data has gravity. Yes. Right, it's going to be, if there's data in the cloud, keep it in the cloud ideally. If it's on-prem, great, edge. Yes. And if I understand it, Azure Adaptive Cloud is what allows you to have that consistent experience, correct? It's basically decoupling the Azure services from the Azure data center location. So bringing the Azure service where the data center is, and their data center centric services here, so like Azure SQL managed instances, bring that to your data. Azure Postgres Hyperscale, bring that to your data. Azure AI Foundry, bring that to your data. Azure Virtual Desktops. Exactly, one of the benefits of Adaptive Cloud is, these services, these Azure Cloud services that are actually running on premises. Virtual Desktops was actually one of the first ones we did because there was so much customer demand for it. We delivered AVD in the cloud and we had a lot of people deploy it, but we had folks like in healthcare came to us and they said, look, when it comes to patient care and patient services, we need that running on premises. If there's a citywide outage, okay, that's okay. Our generators fire up and we continue to provide services for all of our patients without any disruption at all. So that's why, again, you have this value of delivering cloud services on premises as well. What does that consistency do for the security model? What have you observed? The fact that you have visibility means that you can better protect, better secure, and provide better consistency and governance for all of your resources. A perfect example, I know of an organization that they had 150 manufacturing sites around the world, okay? They were all running random different hardware, running by different teams. They were in North America, South America, Europe, Australia, Asia. They basically said, look, we're going to go with an Azure Local solution for all of these. Now for the first time ever, they can see all 150 sites running around the world. They know that they've got Defender endpoint protection. They know that they've got everything backed up. They know that all of their applications are healthy and monitoring. And again, this is stuff that's still running on premises, but they're able to manage it and see it all in a consistent way from the cloud.
But it's also true to say that Microsoft gets tremendous insight into attack vectors around the world by virtue of running Azure, this massive cloud, and they're able to bring this insight to the on-premises world as well. So if you run like a SQL advisor agent on your on-premises systems, you get all that insight from Azure and what's happening from an attack footprint there, and they are better able to protect your SQL workloads on-prem.
And there's one more thing I have to add from a security perspective. If you're using a Dell AX system for Azure Local, Azure Local gives you an awesome new feature that we just released in Windows Server 2025, which is hot patching, which is the ability to patch a server in real time without a reboot, without any disruption. It can be your most mission critical AI workloads, your most mission critical SQL workloads. You can patch it just like that. And you get that included with Azure Local at no additional cost.
But you know what else you get included with Azure Local at no additional cost is over 300 security baseline settings out of the box there. So if you went and deployed, let's say Windows Server, you could go and manually apply many security settings there and then have to understand how to maintain those through the life cycle of that product there. Not fun. With Azure Local, we apply over 300 security baselines out of the box and then maintain them for the entire lifetime then as well as updates come out.
And Kenny, not only is it not fun, but it's highly error prone.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
No, it's a whole thing. Talk to me about the Microsoft Premier solution.
Oh, so we've just elevated our Dell AX system for Azure Local to a Premier solution there, which is the most feature-rich and extensive capability in the Azure Local ecosystem there. So it enables us to basically, thank you.
Very exciting.
It enables us to do seamless deployment of the Azure Local system from the Azure portal. So again, that consistency of deployment and management from Azure on the Azure Local system there. We do full stack lifecycle management of that system. We have a tremendous amount of Dell hardware in Microsoft engineering, where we're co-testing all of the updates there, so when Microsoft releases a new update, it's already tested on our hardware, so customers can apply it immediately with confidence. We have enabled PowerFlex storage for this system as well, so we can do disaggregated scalable storage, the only solution for Azure Local that can support external storage here as well. A whole plethora of different features there enabled in the Premier solution there. We're very proud of our AX systems, but the really cool thing is, maybe I shouldn't say this, but when we elevated the AX system to Premier, we didn't increase the price. So all our customers get great new benefits, same price as it's always been.
Well, that's a refreshing change from a traditional system.
That's really awesome.
And it's nice to be able to serve them at that level of quality and optionality all at once. Very exciting for you. Congrats, that's a nice little milestone for y'all. Okay, I have one final question for you, brilliant individuals. When we're hanging out at Dell Tech World 2026, what do you hope to be able to say then that you cannot yet say today?
I think, I got to be careful because I know stuff.
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell me this stuff. I want to know this stuff.
No, I'll put it this way. I think you're going to see that partnership continue to flourish around modern work, around AI, and around data center modernization. You're going to see us, I think the wind is really hitting our sails, you're going to see us doing a lot more and really doubling down in our hybrid Azure Local solutions as well as that AI innovation. As you know, we talked about, you know, we've announced lots more AI running on premises. In fact, this week we're announcing SQL Server 2025 is in preview.
We talked to Bob about it yesterday.
With a massive AI focus. So I'm sure we'll be talking a lot about that for Dell 2026.
Awesome, I'm holding you to that. I can't wait to have the chat. What about you, Kenny?
I think we'll be talking about Azure Local Disconnected for our customers then. So we're working on this process of enabling Azure Local to be fully disconnected, bringing enough of the Azure management experience into the system itself to be able to run in dark sites, fully disconnected environments. I'm looking forward to just being able to talk a bit more about that.
So air-gapped.
Exactly, air-gapped.
Oh, very cool.
With the same Azure portal experience. In an air-gapped environment.
Okay.
So looking forward to that,
I love it. Well, we look forward to having both of these exciting conversations. Jeff and Kenny, thank you so much for taking the time on a busy week.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
really appreciate it. Thank you, Dave. And thank all of you for tuning in to our 3 days of coverage here at Dell Tech World in Las Vegas, Nevada. My name's Savannah Peterson. You're watching theCUBE, the leading source for enterprise tech news.